Welcome to Westmoreland Bulldogs, a podcast. I am Callahan Marshall here with Mr. Woods and Mr. DiCunto. Mr. Woods, what do you do here at Westmoreland Central School District?
I'm the physical education teacher for 9th through 12th graders. I also am the varsity football coach, volleyball coach, and the JV baseball coach.
Wow, you got quite a list there.
A lot of titles.
Mr. DiCunto, what do you do?
Not quite the resume that Mr. Woods has, but I'm the health and wellness coordinator for the district. Blessed to have this opportunity. Thank you to Coach Woods. I coach varsity football with Mr. Woods. I assist girls basketball, Coach Medicis, and I will be helping coach JV baseball along with Coach Woods this upcoming spring.
You work with all the kids in the district, though, right?
Absolutely. Love it. It's the best job in the world.
Still impressive resume, I think. Yeah, I like it.
Teacher, though. Come on.
All right, so you guys are both obviously heavily involved in sports.
Yes.
Mr. Woods, when did you start playing sports?
When I was about 3, I started playing hockey. That was the first sport, and then soccer, football, and baseball. And then finally committed to just football and played all the way through.
And when did you commit to football?
5th grade. 5th grade was when I didn't play soccer and football. I had to make the choice and went straight to football.
Now, where did you play? Up north somewhere?
Yeah, way up north, Franklin Academy High School. It's in Malone, New York. It's a decent school. It's definitely in the middle of nowhere, but it's an interesting area in the mountains right by Canada, so a lot of fun.
And Mr. DiCunto, when did your sports journey start?
I was in 2nd grade. I played for the Westwood Wolverines. I played football. I played basketball, and I played baseball my whole entire life. Basketball passed me by as I got bigger throughout my life, and I committed to football mainly, especially when I was a freshman in high school. I stopped playing baseball and basketball, so I played sports all the way up until 8th grade, and then I committed to football when I was a freshman in high school.
You both committed to football.
Yeah.
You both played for Utica College. I know that.
Absolutely.
Mr. Woods, what was your position?
I played receiver, and then I was also a long snapper with Coach DiCunto.
Yeah, we were always together.
Yeah.
Every single practice, we had about 20, 30 minutes together. We'd have team periods together, so that's how we really got to build our relationship through football, which is great. Kid from New Jersey like myself, and a kid all the way up from Canada got real close based on snapping a ball through our legs, so I thought it was pretty funny.
You know, I love your relationship because the kids see that you both have a really good relationship, and they really gravitate towards both of you. I've noticed, anyway, when I see them walking through the halls and you guys interacting with them, I know they love you too because they come into my office and I'll hear the kids running around in here talking about Coach Woods and Coach DiCunto, so I know the kids love you. I just want to throw that out there.
That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Some of them refuse to leave the school, so they just want to hang out all day.
I think it's good though when you can teach the kids like that, like regardless if we're blood related or not, like a friendship means a lot. Like when our family's 2 or 3 hours away, so we got to rely on somebody, whether it's our head coach in college or it's your best friend across the hall or it's someone that plays the same position as you. Like, and there's many more kids that we can both talk about that we have a similar relationship with, but to do it together in the same school setting, I think is pretty cool. And then to show kids that, I think now you see those kids starting to gel even closer and closer, which is sweet.
Sports bringing people together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about when you started playing football in 5th grade. What did you play on?
Honestly, football was just something that a lot of my friends played. My dad was a big football fan, never played it. He was a Giants fan. I don't hold it against him. But
You'd hate me then.
yeah.
I'm
But
a Bills fan.
oh yeah, I'm a Patriots
Bills.
fan.
Yeah, so you really hate me.
Tommy DeVito, baby.
Yeah, you won't even be there next year.
Yeah, relax.
But it just was something that kind of I felt brought my family. You know, everyone loved it. Everyone followed it. Every game. Not just my dad and mom, my grandparents, aunts, uncles. Everyone came to it. So it was just something that kind of brought our family together. And then, like we already talked about, the friendships. Those are my best friends that I play with. My quarterback was still one of my good friends today. So when I really started to feel like I wanted to play at the next level was like my freshman year when I watched the TV show Friday Night Lights. Yeah, that kind of resonated with me of like, well, this is really what it's about, like working hard and hard work pays off. And then it was kind of cool. Coach Taylor, obviously, was one of the great coaches, and that was kind of my influence of whenever I'm done playing, I want to coach and, help others, accomplish their goals, whether it's to play at the next level or just, to have the best senior year or what their high school career they could have, and just give them all the tools to do that.
And you got all those tools?
Not all of them, but
Working, right?
still working on them. Every day's a growth opportunity. But definitely, having like the relationship with the kids here, and being here more full time, as were before. I was back and forth between here and Utica. It's nice to build even more relationships, work with more kids, and just hopefully leave an impact in some way on most of them.
And now, with both of you having extensive backgrounds in football, have either of you played on grass before?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So my high school was grass all the way through. Most schools up north were grass at that time. Now there's a big shift. My high school's got a beautiful stadium now. It's got the lights, everything.
So this was after you left?
Yeah,
How'd you feel about that?
Oh, I was mad. I was upset. I actually, we had a bye week at Utica when I was coaching, so I was able to go home. And I got to watch the first game. I actually played on it for football. Surprisingly, Franklin Academy did win against our rival school, so it was awesome. But it was beautiful. It's beautiful, and like they do a lot on it now. And the community at first wasn't all about it, and now that they see it and they see the impact it has and what it brought to the community, they love it. And now they do a lot of different things on it. They use it all year round.
So, what kind of impact did it bring to that community?
It just kind of brought unity, and when you go and you show up and you see a beautiful turf stadium and you see the lights, and you're playing on a Friday night compared to the Saturdays, which is like we do here. That's what I did in high school. We played every Saturday at 1:00, and it just like when you have the town and the talk all day in school of the football game later, or whatever, even soccer games, because they can play those at night. It just brings more people out from the community because it's at night on a Friday, not in the middle of the day on a Saturday. Once you hit Saturdays, you start interfering with youth sports, and a lot of families have to go to that. So I just saw it, and I mean, I've only been to 2 games on the turf, but like there was more people. More people are invested in it now because like they feel like they contributed to bringing that turf field to the town, and they see the appreciation from all the student athletes, all the coaches, the school officials, everybody that really pushed for it, and being where it is, it's unique because now you get to host playoff games, you get to bring other people in, and you get to see a whole another level of sports.
Yeah, and in this proposal, this capital project, there will be lights on the field, like you just talked about. With that being said, you had Friday night games in high school.
Yep.
You liked them. They were fun.
Oh, loved them. Anytime we got to play, we knew there was 3 schools that had lights on our schedule, usually, and we would pray that we were playing them there. Usually you want to play at home, but we love Friday night lights. You get the student section, students come out, the community, and there's just something about seeing the lights repel off the turf that just fires you up.
Yeah, Mr. DiCunto, talk to that.
So, like, my whole entire high school career, I was blessed to play on a turf field, and we played Friday night lights. It was every Friday night, and like, you could just see, like, when I was a freshman, I wasn't on the varsity team, so I wasn't dressing for the game. Like, where are we going after school to get food? Where are we going to go? Whose house are we going to go to hang out? And then how are we going to get to the game? Like, it was more than just what people think of Friday night lights. It was hanging out with your friends from 2:30 to 6:30, and then going to the game at 7. And then being in the student section, putting face paint on your face and taking pictures. And I still look at those photos today, and then people still have those photos I was friends with on their Instagram today with the captions that we had in high school. And I think, like Coach Wood said, like the unity and like people like nice things. It's common sense. If you have a nice field with nice lights, people are going to go. And then talk about the numbers for that team. Yes, it's more than just putting on a jersey, but you can get 10 kids just to sign up for a sport based on a nice field. Imagine if those 10 kids put in effort for 7-8 weeks, and now their life could change because of a sport, or in reality because of a turf beat, or because of nice lights or a nice snack stand. So I think having nice things, like we said, it brings more people to the community, and I think it enhances the area and enhances especially the youth programs. And now maybe more parents who want to get involved in coaching, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to go to a nice venue. You want to be able to represent your town and your community well. And I think it would be great. Coach Woods and I had the opportunity to coach an all-star game this past fall, and it was at VBS. And we've never been to VBS to see a football game. And I'll never forget first touchdown scores. And
luckily, it was us who scored
thank
first.
gosh. But these lights went off.
Throw that in there.
These lights went off. It was like we were in WWE WrestleMania. Like someone was getting.
It was.
And me and him look at each other like, we need this. Whether VBS wins a game for the next 50 years or not, which they will, because they have a great new head coach in Matt McCoy, but it brings people to that venue. They can run a New York State track meet, and they can have a nice concession stand. They have a big, seating area, and they have a big enough parking lot where, like, it's like, why would you not want to have something here? And I think it'd be great for Westmoreland to be able to have the Class D or Class C championships here for track, or whatever that may be, or be able to host the Ernie Davis.
And that is what Sequoia does. That's where all the soccer games were. And I mean, we went to the girls' soccer game when they played Sequoia, and it was packed there. I mean, you had a game before. I think that was a game that went in like 6 overtime.
Yes,
we were late to the game.
Yeah.
But we didn't miss anything because they were still in the first game.
Yeah.
We were there until like 10:30 that night. But
it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The people that were there just to watch a soccer game and that did not even have on the two teams that were playing, I feel like it meant something. And like as Coach Oliver, Gary Oliver, who just retired there, I guarantee you when he looks around in his final year, like all these people that supported, the community, it's what he what he was part of building it to. Right? Every coach is part of it. Whether it's the girls soccer coach who's a great lady, right? Whether it's myself or Coach Woods, whether it's Greg Williams who coaches track as well as along with football, whoever the boys soccer coach, I know he's been here for a while. Like especially those people, right? Who've been here for years. Like they deserve it as much as these young cats do as well, and the kids do. Right? Like we have athletes here. I'm just like Madelinos, for example, or Olivia Moore, some seniors and juniors that come to my head, like. Or Sam Ferguson, like they deserve to play on a nice field. They don't deserve to roll their ankle on grass, right? Like you don't want to score your 1,000-point in an old hardwood gym. You want to score it in a nice gym. That's how I think about it. And like
not only that, now all playoffs are on turf. So any team that's been on turf is used to turf. And I get people can say it's not different, but if you went and watched the soccer game, Sequoia plays on turf. They were used to turf. Our girls weren't, passing wise and stuff like that. So. At this point in time, being in New York, being that, I mean, it was 40 degrees a week ago. I think it was like 10 degrees this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I had to start my car 3 times today just to defrost it.
Mine shut off. So,
but the ground's always moving. There's always issues, and on grass, my ankles are so messed up from rolling them in high school and just lingering injuries and
because you played on grass.
Yeah, and you can never keep grass nice. And I mean, even if you put the best fertilizer and seed and you roll it. It's New York. It's going to shift. Something's going to occur. You're always going to have those bad spots. Plus, if it rains, you're really in trouble because now you're talking of a mudslide area, and then if you have another game on it in a week, it never recuperates in the fall.
Washer gets all messed up.
Yeah, the wash and dryer get all messed up. But
I just think also like a small town, right? Like. People think like the stereotype, it's a small town, doesn't have anything. But why not be a small town, which is a small knit community, but have one of the nicest facilities in the area?
Like Beaver River.
Right.
Beaver River,
right.
We went there for our sectional game, and that's a newer turf project that they just put in, and it was beautiful. I mean, our kids were even looking around like, wow, this is awesome.
Even Dodgeville.
Dodgeville just got to do
100 times. Like some of the areas look run down. It's just straight up how it is, right? And now you go into that high school and you go to that back field, it looks like you're playing at MetLife Stadium. It's beautiful. Like those people, big football town, they love that stuff. It's huge for them.
And we're kind of at an advantage too if we get this turf field because we're right off the thruway.
Yeah, we'd have a lot of playoff games. We'd be able to hold sectional. It'd be awesome.
And then money to the school or to the boosters program, and then for example, like clubs or organizations here can host like a bake sale, or they can sell their T-shirts, or they can also provide and bring in funds for their own club as well, which.
Like you imagine, hosting playoff games, and we're a small Class D, C school, and all of a sudden you get CNS coming in here, and you get to go watch CNS or CBA play on your field, and you're like, wow, this is really what bigger schools are like with their kids' commitment, and that's all it is. A, B, C, it doesn't matter what you are. It comes down to the commitment that you have, and when you really get to see it full realm, and you see it on your field, and this is what it should look like. Now you got everyone's buying into it. Everyone's seeing the process. Everyone begins to trust the process, and then you start really building something special.
You think people use Snapchat now? Kids, the field will be everywhere. The kids will talk about it to everybody they can. I'll never forget when my high school, my freshman year, it was the spring. So when I went into the fall, the turf was down, and all I saw that whole entire summer on my buddies' stories, pictures, and group chats was the field being put down piece by piece by piece. Right? When that P and the C for Paramus Catholic went in the middle, everyone blew up. When that Bulldog eventually goes in the middle of that field, or Bulldogs goes in that end zone, when you see your emblem on a permanent field, for me, it's going to mean something. Right? And it's for these kids that they're going to be able to run out whether it's through a Bulldog tunnel or whether it's through the cheerleaders with
A
the
nice
banner.
little adrenaline rush kind of.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then the lights do that too.
Yeah.
Oh, just seeing the lights
the way it
on.
shines
I know.
up the helmet, like, I don't know. Some of the kids we went to in college never had that opportunity, like Woods did. Right? He never had the opportunity, maybe until he got to college, to play a Friday night lights game, and those are the best.
Well, I did play Friday. Relax there.
So-
we did play on Fridays occasionally, but it had to be an away game. I even tried.
It's
I
like
remember
once
my
every 4
senior
years
year, I was the varsity club president. And I tried everything, man. Everything to rent like pop-up lights. I was like, how cool would it be?
Pop-up lights.
Yeah, like how cool would it be just to say like, hey, our varsity club brought the first
Well,
night
that'd be
game
cool.
ever to.
Yeah.
But it
To do something for the first time, like we did, right? Like we talked about that. Do something for the first time ever in history, whether it's to get a turf field or to get the first win, whether it's any team that does it, like it's gonna mean something, right? Those lights turn on for the first time on a Friday night. It's the first time it's ever happened.
Exactly.
For a team to run out during a Friday, it's the first time it's
My
ever
town was so excited to play their first game. They didn't wait for the lights. They're like, no, this turf is so nice. Like we're playing on it. So like the lights didn't come until the next year. So the first, I think they played 3 games on it the first year. It was just normal Saturday games, but it was the fact that it's on turf. It looks sharp. They got I don't even think the bleachers were up yet.
Wow.
So my high school literally had nothing. It was
Wow.
a big hill, and everyone sat on the hill. There's no bleachers, nothing.
Oh, wow, that is nothing.
Now they have it. If you saw it, you'd be like, wow, that's insane. Like I see it now, and everybody with their drones goes, and the same thing. Like that's all you see on Facebook still. Is everyone so proud and happy with how it turned out? And I know everyone's cautious at first, or not 100% in, but when you see the end result and you see your kids or the kids of your community and how happy they are, that makes it worth it. And that's what my town has kind of come to. Like there's no more people hesitant on it. Everyone's all in on it now.
All right, question for you, Mr. Woods. So when you transitioned from high school to college, you went to Utica University, you played on turf for the first time at Utica.
Not the
Right?
first time, but fully all the time, yeah.
Okay, so did you notice a difference between
Yeah.
your playing from
I
grass
went-
to turf?
Yeah, so I went from, I never wore leggings or anything. So the one thing with turf is you do get turf burn. So that was a big thing, was like that, and then just how much faster you feel on it. Really, is like, and just if it rains or if something occurs, like you're never in that oh crap moment of like I gotta slow myself down for breaks or whatever. It's everything's fluent, everything's full speed. The injury, I mean, turf really is. I feel I'd rather get tackled on turf than grass
Why?
because I feel like there's it's softer. It's softer, especially with some of the new turf nowadays.
Oh
Like,
my gosh! It's
like we went to
mattress.
Utica's turf is old,
Mattress.
really old. Hartwick's turf was really old, but we went to Susquehanna for our playoff game, and I didn't even play that. I was a coach, but I was walking on that, and I actually did the test. I got jumped on the ground. Like, how does this feel? And it was so nice. It looked like real grass. It was so nice, comfortable. The guys loved it. There was no issues. And yeah, it was probably one of the best things for me to experience. To just say, hey, there's no more grass. And then when they built the new Pioneer Stadium, then we never even had to practice on grass. It was like grass is non-existent now. It was just always on turf. Same thing, the new turf at Utica was same thing, like grass, thicker, less turf beads, and just it does impact a lot. Like I said with soccer, like the ball moves different. You're not hitting any random pothole that's going to bounce the ball. Football, same thing. Like, balls on the ground, you know how to judge it, those kind of things.
And I've seen you guys practicing over the summer with your football team.
Yep.
You guys practiced in a bunch of different places.
Yeah, oh yeah. We were all over the
Figure
place.
it out.
Well, that's the other problem with grass is the more you're on it, the more you ruin it.
So is that why you're switching from?
Yeah, like-
I
We
didn't
never
know
really
that.
got the like at Utica. Now at Franklin Academy or at my high school, you practice on your game field every single day.
Yeah.
And if at Utica, if I'm correct in saying this, Coach Woods, if there was a field hockey game or a soccer game at 3:30, they still had another turf location to go to. And if it was snowing out, there was a dome with a turf field in it. So like you're never really, you're changing your location, but you're never changing the surface you're playing.
Yeah.
We changed based on how bad the grass was. So
Yeah.
these kids never got to play or practice on their home field, especially a home week, unless it was the Friday walkthrough or the Saturday game. And like, to me, it's just why not be able to practice or play on the field that you're going to play on at least 5 times a year?
Yeah, and I felt bad for our maintenance, like our grounds crew, like they were lining fields all summer long because there was us. We did
And that
7 on
does get
7,
costly.
which you
It
need
does
to
get
use a
costly.
full field for.
Paint 3 different
You need lines. The marching band, they had their painted lines and everything, so it was a lot going on. And like I don't think the turf project just benefits athletics. Marching band, and
Yeah,
like
you
down
went
we,
phys ed, too.
yeah, phys ed. Like you can go out there in the
Pop Warner,
winter,
too,
Pop
'cause
Warner, everything.
I talked to Pop Warner, and they
I love it. They'll eat it
yeah,
up.
they made it a little further this year, and in the fall it gets darker.
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't have a place to practice because it gets darker, so they had to borrow Whitesboro's field because they have lights on the field.
When we have such a good Pop Warner program, right? Like we do, I know Mr. Polera helps out, right? Mr. Gar, like there's people there, Mr. Che, like Mr. Bolger, like CEO of ICANN donates his time as well. Like all those guys care. Like we would go to Pop Warner games. You see Mr. Bolger coaching 12U football. His playbook's on an iPad.
Yeah,
right. You
yeah,
don't see
that's-
many 12U coaches putting in that time and effort. And if we're going to build such a great youth program, in my eyes, right? Like why not make all facets of sports great, right? Because there's youth programs for every sport. Some are good, some are great. And if to make them all great, why not? If a turf field has anything to do with it, then why not? Why not? Why not benefit this community, especially the grandchildren, the grandparents, and the kids and parents? Like, I know there's people out there that maybe not want it, right? And whatever their reason is, their reason. I respect it, right? But like at the end of the day, you got to think about the future of, school, sports, and the kids, right? Like being putting Aiden and Tegan on a brand new track,
Yeah.
right? Like
I just know like there's a lot.
real.
We have a lot of pride in everything we do here at Westmoreland, and like the marching band has been
Phenomenal.
unbelievable for as long as I know.
A long
Yeah,
time.
long.
So like if that's
Now, like they've never got the opportunity to host home.
they should be hosting
And,
with
like,
how talented they are.
With,
Yep.
with
And
travel
I
and
talked to
all
Kristen.
that,
She
like,
said she would love to
Yeah.
host,
I mean,
a
like-
competition.
and that helps us out because they're on Saturdays. Now we get the pep band at every Friday night football game.
It's
And I know me and
impressive.
her have already mentioned that. She said, "Well, if we had its lights and." We'd be able to be at every game, and like just brings the community even further together. I mean, you go to a basketball game here, marching band, isn't in season anymore. So you go to a basketball game when they're here, like you see the crowd, you see the difference. Not only that, you're getting more students involved.
Yep.
You're getting more students to the games to cheer on their peers, to build those relationships, to be in a good setting and not off doing whatever. Like you're controlling not what they're doing, but you're giving them the opportunity to come and be a part of something, and they're grabbing and taking that opportunity every time. And like they have a riot up there, and I know they're always juiced up. They love playing,
that's
and
so
the kids
much.
are always talking to me like, "What other songs do you think we could do at a game?" And I'm like, "Man, you guys are crushing it already." Like, yeah.
And it gives them really good memories
Yeah,
too. Like I
absolutely.
have really good memories from high school because we used to play out in the lights on
Yeah.
Friday nights.
You're
And
part of the win,
Right.
essentially. Like you're like the
Like the
cheerleader.
girls' basketball sectional game here last year against Waterville, you could not fit another person in that gym. The bleachers were filled. There was people lined on the walls. You had the pep band up top, and I mean it was one of the most electrifying environments. I mean I've been at playoff college games, like E8 basketball tournament, like for like everything, and like that was still one of the craziest games. I mean Waterville brought their student section, we had our student section, and it was a true what high school sports are supposed to be.
And atmospheres like that are what kids remember. Like they'll talk about that, whether it's Coach Medisa's talking about it, whether it's Ella from last year talking about it, right? Or like the kids that got dressed up in all their silly gear, or the pet band playing, right? Like they will talk about that Waterville game, and I heard about it multiple times from Coach Lewis because I wasn't here yet. But like if someone like him's going to talk about it so many times, right?
Yeah.
Like it had to be special. So like
It's
whether
just
it's
that
turf
pride
field,
and
yeah,
unity.
whatever
It
it
brings
is,
everyone together, no matter what, whether you play, whether you don't. You are a part of it, and then you have pride in your school, your town, and your community.
And how do you think having a turf field is going to? Do you think it's going to help with the success of the football team?
I think it's going to help success with everybody.
Yeah, not just
I mean, you look right now. We run, an after school, before school, whenever really kids can work out and we're available. We run a strength and conditioning program that like this is the first real cycle you're seeing. The seniors currently were freshmen when I started here, and it started. So like you can see kids like Jack Williams, Anthony Sawanek, Hunter Kerpeck, Jeremy Riggles, Jay Carter that like really bought into it at an early age, and you can see where it got them. So I think with that and all the sports, it's really going to help improve everything. And the big thing we're lacking is we don't have a lot of room to do running during the winter. 40-degree day, no snow, you can go out on the turf. And you can do, sled pushing. You can do different things. We can incorporate that into our PE curriculum now. Baseball in the spring.
So it'll be a year-round use.
Oh yeah, everybody will use that. Softball, everybody, because it gets you outside earlier. It gets your kids in fresh air. Whether it's 40 degrees or not, dress warm. You're going to be moving. Like, kids are going to love that, like the ability to be outside. And if you do have a little snow, why can't we have a snowball fight on the field? Anything like that. Anything that's fun.
Seriously.
Yeah, like everything's got to be fun at the end of the day, but it just gives us the opportunity. Like right now we're trying to get with Elevate to be able to go there and do stuff because obviously we're a small school. We only have 2 gyms that you can use for practice. Winter session, that gym's always full. And especially if there's a game of some sort, like you're not getting in there to do anything. So having that ability to, just say, hey, we're going to go here. Summer programs, we'll be able to do a lot more running stuff on turf. Right now, we're running on concrete, just because you can go on turf and you can run on turf with sneakers on. And grass is a lot harder to run on with sneakers and stop and do things. Roll ankle, whatever. And actually, I did have that when a couple years ago. A girl rolled her ankle. I think it was like 2 weeks before the season started. Doing like a simple, we were pushing like bag pushes. Stepped in a pothole, ankle went the wrong way, rolled it, ended up having to miss the next week of workouts because of it, but, just not having to worry about, obviously you can still roll your ankle on turf, but, like, the chances are reduced significantly that you're going to roll it based on a divot in the ground.
Yeah.
So just improving, all around everything we can, any way we can utilize it, we will take full advantage.
And people, think about how many times we've been at practice on the game field around a Friday or Thursday, and we would see older people in the community, come on the track.
Yeah.
Right now, instead of the one guy that always used to come and crush it, right? Like, more than, now that they see people hear there's a brand new track, like, they're going to have to go look.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're going to have to walk on it. And it's like, it probably feels good on their feet because it's brand new.
Yeah.
Right now, maybe more people in the community can use that as to their advantage, right? Whether and then or more parents can, bring their kids to the track or whatever that may be. It's not just, and I think that's what I hope this community understands, and I know that we understand that it's not just football. It never will be just football. Because, at the end of the day, it doesn't say Westmoreland football on that field. It doesn't say Bulldog football. It says Bulldogs. And, whatever team plays for Westmoreland is going to have the opportunity to play on that field. And, I'm going to talk more about the soccer programs because they're better than us anyway, right? The soccer program, and I'm just beyond the soccer programs are great.
Brandon's cringing right now.
Oh yeah, right. For them, do it for them too. Just don't do it for silly football players, right?
Yeah, I think a unique day is when there's a soccer game at 11 or noon, and then there's a football game to follow or something like just that atmosphere.
Kids being
you could still have the opportunity. Hey, soccer, you're going to play on a grass field. You want to practice on the grass field, we still have it. It'll be a multi-purpose field. Soccer games can still be played on that field. There could be times where there's 2 games going on at the same thing, and then you really see how much of the community is here. And that's one of the coolest things to me in the spring is you got a varsity baseball game, and then you got a varsity softball game, and there's little league baseball going on. And you can see it. Even Fee on the golf cart, he's driving around all of them. He's going to the concession stand down there. He's watching the little league guys, and then he's coming back over here watching baseball, and then going. You get to see everything, and you see all the community. You see all the people that truly do care about not just what their kids playing, but they care about the success of the Westmoreland School District, and that's a unique thing to see, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, that people want people. This is not a bad thing. This means that the people want the town to be better. Yeah. They want their kids' lives to be more of an advantage. Whether the sports teams are winning or not, they want this area to be nicer. They want the school district to be nicer. They want more. They want to attract more people. So why not bring that to this small town that's full of support and great community base? And
there's definitely a family feel. In this town.
Let's bring more people here. Let's go host an event and show people what it's like to play at Westmoreland. Right, let's go instead of what is Westmoreland, people now know what it is when they come here. When you see, we were on a bus for volleyball and we went through Augusta. We thought we were in Georgia. Right?
Yeah, it was a unique trip on the bus.
I guarantee you if Augusta has a couple track meets, people will know what Augusta is, right or wrong, right? People come to Westmoreland what is Westmoreland? Oh, no, we had a football game. We played the Ernie Davis game here. Oh, CNS played a playoff game here last year. Oh, the class.
No, it's the first thing when you travel into a school as a team. Really anything. The first place you go, it's through the front doors, and then into a locker room, and that's really your first impression of what the school district is what you're walking into, and then hey, they got this beautiful, brand new, like, other schools are going to be excited to come here just to see that and play on it and be a part of it as well. And, I was the same way in high school. Like I said, every time we got to go play Friday night, like that was so fun. The coach didn't have to give us any pep talk. We were ready to rock and roll. The bus was rocking back and forth. Yeah, ready to go, fired up, excited, and like that's what it's all about. Actually, I have a class. Though.
Okay, well, we'll end this because this is a long one.
Yeah.
All right?
We like to talk. So.
I love that you love to talk. Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
You guys get to class.
And I'm sure I'll have you on again.
Perfect.
All right.
Anytime. We love this.
Yep.
This is great. I love this. You did a great job. Thank you.